Hey everybody, so if you are interested in Unreal Engine, you've probably already seen the news that they just came out with a new awesome locomotion system. So all you have to do is walk up to this wall and press spacebar and it will play whatever jump animation or traversal animation is appropriate for the situation. And while this is really fun, it gets kind of boring quickly to just see this orange guy on screen. So how do we apply this system to our own characters that we've made? Well, it's actually super easy and I'm going to show you right now. If you don't already have a character ready to go, that's alright. Go up on rendercrate.com and download the Unreal Engine version of this skeleton warrior or the Unreal Engine 5 version of this sci-fi warrior. Either one should work. The other thing you're going to need to get is the free game animation sample from Epic Games on the Unreal Engine Marketplace. This is the project that we're going to apply our custom characters to. Alright, let's jump in. Alright, once you've downloaded the game animation project and the skeleton warriors project, you want to first open up the skeleton warriors project so we can migrate the character over to the animation demo project. So to do that, we're going to go to the content browser, find the modular skeleton warriors folder, right click and go to migrate, press OK, and then navigate to the project folder for the game animation sample, go inside, click on its content folder and press select folder, and now it's going to copy all of the skeleton warrior assets over to that project. When that's done, go over to the game animation sample project and check inside the content folder to make sure the modular skeletons showed up. Click on the modular skeleton warriors folder. Let's go into meshes and you can see that this character comes with a lot of modular parts. So I'm going to click on all of the parts that say skeletal mesh. They should have a purple underline, and I'm going to right click and go up to skeleton, assign skeleton, and we want to apply this to the default Unreal 5 skeleton, which is called SK Mannequin. Now there's a few of them in the scene, so what you want to do is roll over the one where the file path says game, characters, UE5 mannequins, meshes. You don't want to use the one that looks like it came with the modular skeleton warriors project. We want to assign it to the one that's already in the scene. So just check the file path before you press accept. Now it's asking if we want to add an end bone to all of the different bones in the body. Just press OK. Now unfortunately we have to do this for every single piece. So if you don't want to take the time to do this for every piece, you could just do this for the main SKM skeleton warrior model right here. But I'm going to do this for every piece because I want to be able to give him armor. So I'm going to click on SK Mannequin. And again, I'm going to check that file path to make sure it's the one that looks like it's default, the UE5 mannequins / meshes folder. And I'll just keep doing that for every piece. When you're done, just make sure you save everything. So before we apply our character, I want to give you a quick tour of this project and how it works. If you press play, you'll jump into the scene. If you need to see the controls, you can step on view controls and this window should pop up. You can step on the README square and see all of the known bugs that are currently being worked on and features that are coming in the future. But most importantly, if you step on the game animation widget square, you get this character picker where you can choose different characters to mess around with. So for example, we could click on the Echo character, and now we've got this really cool AAA looking character with physics and dangly parts and all that. Now what's so cool about this new system is it uses motion matching to predict which is the best animation to play at any given moment. So just by walking up to these orange cubes and pressing spacebar to jump, it'll pick the best animation to play for her to traverse the level, which is really cool and really powerful. It's picking from over 500 different animations every moment of gameplay to get the most realistic and natural looking movement. But how do we get our own custom character into this scene? So first of all, we need a character that's rigged with the Unreal 5 skeleton, which we already have in that skeleton warrior scene. During testing, it kept crashing on me when I was trying to get that skeleton warrior into the scene, and I realized that it needs to be part of this character selection screen. So let me show you how to get that in there. So I'm just going to kind of hijack their system by using one of their blueprints and replacing it with our character. To find these default character blueprints, you want to go to Content, Blueprints, Retargeted Characters. So I'm going to right click on this and go Create Child Blueprint Class. And let's name this CBP, which is short for Character Blueprint, Sandbox _ Skell Warrior. And now we're going to double click on the Sandbox Skell Warrior. And if you get this window that says it's not the full blueprint, just click on Open Full Blueprint Editor. And you should be able to see the viewport, the construction script, and the event graph. If we go on the viewport, you can click on this character here. You can see it's named Manny. But where it says Skeletal Mesh Asset, I'm going to swap it out for our Skeleton Warrior Mesh. So I'm going to type Skeleton Warrior, and I'm going to search for the one that says SKM Skeleton Warrior. Let's press compile and save. and just make sure that we didn't get any errors. And at this point, he's almost ready to go. If your character doesn't have armor, then you can just kind of sit back and watch this part. But if you do want to add modular armor parts, here's how you do that. So I want to add a skeletal mesh component underneath the mesh character mesh right here. And I want to do that for each armor part. It just so happens that this character comes with multiple parts. So I'm going to click add and click on skeletal mesh, and I'm going to type in left arm. And I want to make sure that this is underneath the mesh component here, not underneath Manny. But if it gets accidentally parented under Manny, it's not hard to just drag it underneath the mesh component. Let's add another skeletal mesh, and I'll call this one right arm, and I'll just drag that underneath the mesh component. We need to add another one called torso, another one called legs, another one called waist, and one called head. And now I'm going to jump over to the construction script tab, and I'm going to search for a node called set leader pose component. And I'm going to run the construction script into the input of set leader pose component. And what I want to do is grab all of these body parts that I just created and drag them into the target. It looks like we already have head attached, so I don't need that one. But I'll just grab each of these parts and drag and drop them onto target. And what this is going to do is animate each of the parts so it lines up with the main character body. Speaking of main body, I'm going to grab Manny and drag and drop that into the new leader bone component node right there. And we'll press compile. Hopefully we get no errors. And now we can jump back into the viewport, and what we can do is click on each of these skeletal meshes and apply one of the armor parts. So if I go to my content browser and I go into the skeletal warriors, into the meshes, we can see all of the different armor parts. So right now I have the head selected. If I like this helmet right here, I can drag and drop this into skeletal mesh asset, and it should line up and be animated with the body. Some of these though, they come in out of alignment, so let me show you how to fix that. If I go to the legs component and I grab, let's say, Greaves 2, looks like those actually came in lined up. But if it ever comes in and it's not lined up or it's floating above his head, just click over here and click on these little arrows and it will set the transformation values back to default. Let's just continue on down. I'm going to go to the waist component and let's add this belt. Pretty cool. Let's go to the torso and I'm going to add this one right here. I think it looks pretty cool. Let's go to the right arm and I'll grab, let's try right arm number 3. Let's go to left arm and I'll do left arm number 3. And it looks like everything came in alignment. That's fine. Once again, if anything looks like it's floating off in space or it's wrong, just click on these little arrows over here and it will set everything back to default. So let's press compile and save. We'll close this window. And now what we need to do is just get our character into that character selection widget to make it really easy to apply. So over here in the content browser, I'm going to search for a folder that says widgets, and I'll double click on game animation widget. And like I said, this project's really new. I don't know how to make a new selection category yet. So what I'm going to do is just hijack my least favorite one. So let's click on this one here. And over here where it says object, I'm going to search for Skell Warrior. And I want to apply CBP sandbox _ Skell Warrior. That's the blueprint that we duplicated to create our character. And you can see it even puts a little preview of him right there. Let's press compile, and hopefully there's no errors. We'll press save, close this down, and if we press play, I should be able to step on the game animation widget box and click on our skeleton warrior, close the window, and now he's running around in the scene. There's no rigging to do, no animation retargeting, because we just hijacked a character that already has animation retargeting applied. You can see all of the armor parts and the modular pieces all look good on the character, and he's ready to go. Now, of course, this was made possible because this character is already rigged with the Unreal 5 skeleton. We have another character on our store that's rigged with the Unreal 5 skeleton. It's the sci-fi armor characters. And we're currently in the process of rigging all of our characters for Unreal Engine 5. So if you want to be updated right when those characters come out, be sure to subscribe to our channel. And be sure to leave a comment if you're interested in any other Unreal Engine tutorials, because there's so much information and so many possible ways we could go with this. Let us know what you want to learn next, and we'll try to cover it. And as always, if you do anything cool with these characters and get them working in Unreal Engine, be sure to tag us on Instagram with it or post it to the Discord. We really want to see it. All right, later, creators.